Welcome to,
Another exciting episode of Purana Talk.
yeah,
We are reading the Garuda Purana, one of the 18 Mahapuranas. And we are in the first section, or Kanda, chapter 235, entitled Vedanta and Samkhya. Suta said, I shall expound the mode of knowing the Brahman in according with the tenets of the schools of philosophy, Vedanta and Samkhya. Just as the self-same principle of Jyoti, brilliance or light, appears in three different forms of fire, sun, and moon, so also Vishnu appears as Aham, the self, I, the individual self, Brahman, God, Ishvara, and Paramjyoti, the supreme brilliance, or soul, it tells us. The supreme light, literally. This must be meditated upon. The butter is actually present in the body of the cows, but it does not add to the strength of the cows. When the milk is taken out from the body and churned and the ghee is administered to the cows, it gives them additional strength. So also the all-pervading Vishnu, though present in the body too, does not grant any special benefit to men without being propitiated. The devotee desirous of ascending the tree of yoga must have recourse to karma and jnana as the steps to achieve the goal. Wow. Well, that was kind of a difficult, this is stanzas 1 through 4, but, what is this thing about the butter is already there in the cow, but it doesn't add to the strength of the cows? When the milk is taken out from the body and churned and the ghee is derived from the butter and then administered to the cow, then it gives them strength. Heals them? Something? Is it used as a medicine to them?
well,
They're saying it doesn't serve as medicine when it's in their body, but when it's... But then how this all relates, because it seems to be symbolic. So also the all-pervading Vishnu, though present in the body too, does not grant any special benefit to men without being propitiated, milked out of you, and then clarified and rubbed back on.
I don't know. I think a lot of this is underestimating God's power, frankly, if you really want to go there. But I think it's a misunderstanding.
Okay.
But they're saying basically that devotion it sort of empowers God to work. And, it may feed into this realm of free will philosophy that comes around. If you're really in a realm of free will, even God can't intervene without you asking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it may be part of that.
The last little bit of that, the devotee desirous of ascending the tree of yoga must have recourse to karma and jnana as the steps to achieve the goal. And karma is action and jnana is knowledge. Just so that people are following that.
Yeah, well, you actually have to not only know what to do, but to do it, right?
In order to climb the tree of yoga. 5. Those who have already climbed the tree of yoga must also resort to jnana and renunciation. If a person begins to experience sound, etc., he becomes affected by raga and dvesha, which is desire and hatred, and again comes from duality, literally.
And isn't raga rhythm as well?
Raga doesn't mean rhythm, but it's literally the musical scale and the mood that it invokes and everything. Right. Is the raga. Laya is the melody, tala is the beat, the rhythm. I don't know.
Thanks.
6, from them spring lobha, greed, moha, delusion, and krodha, anger. So if a person begins to experience sound, etc., he becomes affected by raga and dvesha, hatred, desire and hatred, it's saying. So maybe raga, it's taken to be desire, and dvesha as hatred. From them springs greed, delusion, anger. A man affected by all these commits sins. The hands, the generative organ, the belly, and speech are at the root of all sins. If they are brought under control, a man becomes a wise Brahmin. Hands can be brought under control by desisting from taking another man's wealth, refraining from injuring others, and not playing the game of dice. If a man avoids other women, his genitals are brought under control. Other than what? If he is neither glutinous nor craves for delicacies, his belly is brought under control. If he speaks limited, wholesome, and truthful words, his speech is under control. Of what use are the austerities and sacrifices to the person who has controlled these 4? Unity of intellect, mind, and the organs, with seed or without seed, is called meditation.
That's nice. Can you read that again?
Yeah, this is 11. Unity of intellect, mind, and the organs, with seed or without seed, is called meditation. 12:13. A life in the state of Jagrat, waking, employs his intellect, which is situated between the eyebrows, in the direction of objects of sense. Scholars say so. 14:15. When the life, soul, comes to the heart and is enveloped by tamas, darkness, he experiences neither delusion nor false perception. In fact, he does not know where he is or where from he has come. That state is called sushupti, slumber. He is not aware of even his wife nearby. He does not perceive the objects of sense organs like a man who has controlled his senses. This is odd stuff. Mm-hmm. And just the way it's talking, he who, for one question. 16 to 18, the Turiya, 4th state, is now described. The sense organs in the mind are diverted consciously from the objects by means of intellect. The intellect and the ego are diverted by means of prakriti, nature. The prakriti is abstracted by means of chakti, the psychic force. He then stations himself in the pure self alone and sees only the soul, which is consciousness, pure and simple, pure and inert, all pervasive and auspicious. Now the soul is in the Turiya, 4th state, undoubtedly. 19 and 20. Of the lotus called Puriyashtaka, the heart, these are the petals: sound, touch, taste, color, smell, and the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Their equilibrium is maintained by the 3 gunas. Prakriti is the pericarp. Prakriti is nature. Karnika, the pericarp or karnika of the lotus. The Lord Chidrupa, the conscious principle, is stationed in the pericarp. If the life leaves off the the Purashtaka and the Prakriti, consisting of the three gunas, it is called mukti, absolution or salvation, it says, liberation, freedom, mukti. 21. The 6 ancillary factors assisting yogic practice are pranayama. So we got a yoga section, 21 here. Wouldn't you know, since you're switching note pages. The 6 ancillary factors assisting yogic practice are pranayama, japa, pratyahara, which it tells us is diversion of sense organs, dharana, retention, dhyana, meditation, and samadhi, trance. 22. A perfect control of the sense organs brings about the destruction of sins and the favor of gods. A pranayama accompanied by japa and dhyana is called sagarbha, and the opposite is called agarbha, which is kind of like with womb or without womb. The excellent pranayama consists of 36 matras, the middle one of 24 matras, and the last one of 12 matras. Omkara is to be added to all japas. Omkara simply means the sound of Om, so it's a way of referring to Om, kind of indirectly. 25. If the vachaka, that which signifies pranava, another way of referring to Om, the pranava, is understood, the vachya, that which is connoted, Brahman, is delighted. If the vachaka pranava is understood, the vachya Brahman is delighted. The 6-syllabled mantra, Om Namo Vishnave, obeisance to Vishnu, must be constantly repeated, along with Gayatri and the 12-syllabled mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 26. The natural urge of the sense organs is towards the objects. Their diversion from them, along with that of the mind, is called pratyahara. 27. A yogin, who thus diverts the sense organs from the objects consciously along with his intellect, is said to be in pratyahara state, parenthetically, state of abstraction. The mind must be fixed in Brahman for as much time as is necessary to perform 12 pranayamas, each of 12 matras. If the yogin feels sublime bliss in this state and continues in it, it is called samadhi. While meditating, one must not stir at all. The mind is energetically engaged in it. As long as the mind is in its grip, the dharana must be maintained. The mind is fixed in the object of dhyana. It sees it alone, nothing else. That is called the perfect dhyana, meditation. The same as the word Zen, derives from dhyana in Sanskrit. When the mind is inert in its grasp of the dhyeya, the object, it is called the perfect dhyana by the sages who have thought over dhyana. 33. The yogin identifies himself with the dhyeya, the object, and sees it alone everywhere without any second object. This state is called samadhi. The mind is without any special conception. The objects of the sense organs are not thought of. If it is merged thus completely in Brahman, it is called being in samadhi. In the yogin's mind, thinking of Brahman is fixed in it and identifies itself with it. He is called a person in samadhi. The defects causing obstacles in the practice of yoga are the unsteadiness of the mind of the yogin, false notions, mental dejection, and elatedness. In order to steady the mind, the practicer of yoga shall first think of gross objects. This practice, coming to be concentrated on the sun, solar plexus, steadies the mind. There is nothing existing in the world except the Paramatman. It is this alone that takes all forms. A person who knows this gets release. Omkara and the Brahman shall be meditated upon. The Lord shall be meditated upon, as stationed in the lotus heart, without the distinction of kshetra, body, and kshetrajna, soul. The two mantras, Omkara and the six-syllabled one, see verse 25, must be repeated. Shall we take another look just to remember?
Sure.
25, the 16-syllable. Well, we have the 6 syllables and the 12 syllable. There's no 16 syllables here. Or did it say 6? Never mind, the 6 syllable, which would be Om Namo Vishnave. Vishnave, Vishnu. So, obeisance to Vishnu, quite literally. Obeisance, again, being the imperfect translation for the gesture of supplication. That's a good word. At the outset, the practitioner of yoga must meditate upon pradhana, principle of nature, as stationed in the lotus. Above it are the zones of tamas, rajas, and sattva in order. Over that is the purusha, appearing black, red, and white, due to the gunas, called jiva, the individual soul. Over that is located the mystical lotus, with the 8 petals of guna, etc. Knowledge is the pericarp. The shastraic knowledge is the filament. Allergy to worldness is the stem. Vaishnava cult is its bulb. The jiva must be then meditated upon as stationed in the pericarp, motionless and conjoined to Omkara in the heart. This meditation is an aid to salvation. Wow, it's like the mystic cosmic lotus flower complete with allergy.
Yeah, it's got this whole diagrammic visualization kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I think you'd have to actually do a serious meditation on it to see where they're. I mean, you can see where they're getting at. But 44. If a yogin dies while meditating, he is sure to attain Brahman. A yogin meditating. That's a little bit of trivia for you. Oh yeah, did you know? If a yogin dies in meditation, they say that to people on pilgrimage too. If you die on pilgrimage, you get moksha. A yogin meditating on Hari after placing him in the lotus of the heart attains devotion. Some yogins see the Atman through the eye of meditation, others through Samkhya knowledge, and others by means of yoga. Knowledge clarifying the Brahman chops off the fetters of worldly existence. Yoga, which is single-minded concentration in Brahman, yields salvation, undoubtedly. 47. He who is satiated in knowledge and who has conquered the sense organs and the karanas, which it says are limbs, is said to be a liberated soul. The Paramatman is stationed there like one blind, i.e. passively. 48. Asanas, postures. Sthanas, particular places, and vishayas, objects, cannot be called auxiliaries of yoga. These superfluous things actually delay the successful conclusion of yogic practice. All right, that's 48, and that seems significant because it's a repudiation of asana as being a genuine part of yoga, which is antithetical to the Hatha Yoga foundations of modern yogic practice. I mean, that's what it's all about. Asanas, right?
Now, they seem to think that the best yoga is the mental one.
Mm-hmm. 49. Even Shishupala attained salvation on account of constant remembrance. Those who practice yoga see the soul through their own souls. A yogin who is compassionate towards all living beings, who is averse to those who hinder his progress, and who has subjugated the genitals and the belly, you know who you are, becomes liberated. If he does not come into contact with the objects of sense organs through them, if he has merged himself completely in Brahman and appears senseless like a log of wood, he is a liberated soul.
He's also being sought by Western state, but that's another problem.
52. Annihilating everything, all the castes, all women, which it parenthetically tells us means objects of sense organs. That's right, girls. You have been reduced to objects of sense organs that get in the way of liberation. Cut it out. And all sins, by means of the fire of meditation and intelligent yogins, attain the highest goal. What? Annihilating everything, all the castes, all women, all sins, by means of the fire of meditation and the intelligent yogin attains the highest goal. 53. By churning, fire is manifested. By churning, fire is manifested. That comma is important there. Similarly, Hari manifests himself through meditations. So meditation is like the churning of the stick to get the fire going. Is that it?
Yeah.
The highest yoga is the identity of Brahman and Atman. There is no salvation through external forms. Through the internal yama, etc., it can be made possible. Yama being restraint in this context. The realization of the Atman through Sankhya Yoga and Vedanta is called salvation. The bondage is the perception of non-soul as soul and the non-existent as existent.
So definitely an important chapter in our yoga of the Puranas, pardon me. Puranas or something else altogether.
That could be a nice Friday after yoga session. Yoga of the Puranas. Yum, yum.
Yeah.
Stuffed pan-fried breads.
Yeah. Not what I meant.
No.
But it goes into great detail about yoga here, about
there's a lot of talking
both
about
what it's good about and what it's not so good for, and recognize the different states of bliss that you might get into doing yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And
ostensibly it's talking about Vedanta and Samkhya. And Samkhya and yoga are often paired together, and Vedanta is more the speculative philosophical path, and literally means the end of the Vedas, Veda Anta. And Sankhya means the count. And it's about the cosmology and the enumeration of the elements and how they're arranged, the unfolding of the divine through everything. How it's all, made up.
It's all hooked together.
Floor plan of the universe. Okay.
And they get into that some, that, talking about how things are.
Yeah, well, and I think it unites with yoga because yoga tells you how to plug in yourself, body, mind, and spirit to the cosmological structure that Sankhya represents and internalize it.
by going inward.
Replicate it in yourself and become the whole, become God, and change your
life, the universe, and everything, basically.
That's right.
42.
There you go.
Thanks. Bye.